armiger injured on the road outside Seydanin. So much blood! They need help! I'm not exactly sure. The buoyant armiger was accompanying Canon Valasar on a mission for Lord Vivek, but something terrible must have happened. Canon Valasar sent me to find help. She's on the road just outside of Seydanin. Will you help them? Outlander, a word. By order of the Deputy Governor of Seydanin, which happens to be me, the lighthouse is closed until further notice. On the other hand, I seek an outlander who's willing to do a little work. I need someone without ties to the area to look into a matter for me. It seems the lighthouse was broken into. The flame was extinguished. As a result, a ship crashed along the shore. There were fewer bodies than expected, both living and dead. I suspect slavers were involved, which means they had help here in town. I find that unacceptable. Discover who doused the lamp fire. They'll lead us to the slavers. Question Downs. He's on duty that night. He's in the lighthouse. I need to check in with the overseer. His workers are searching the wreckage, and I want to know what they've uncovered. By the time we were alerted and had organized a response, precious moments had been lost. We rescued a few, but mostly we found those who had drowned or were crushed on the rocks. Even so, it was nowhere near the numbers a ship like that carries. It was just a typical sailing ship from the mainland. I suppose it carried the usual complement of cargo and travelers eager to reach our verdant shores. I don't believe that such a vessel would make the trip without filling its holds. Ever since our agreement with the Pact went into effect, slavery has been outlawed throughout most of Morrowind. But all we did was drive the slavers into the shadows. This whole stinking event has their bloody fingerprints all over it. Here, and in all of the territories controlled by the great houses that support the Ebonheart Pact. If you stray into Telvanni or Dres territory, though, the practice remains strong and vibrant. Hence my current troubles. We're just a small outpost along the Bitter Coast, but I like to think of us as the gateway to Vardenfell. From here, Vivek City and the other inland locations are easily accessible. Governor O'Melian is in charge, although I contribute as necessary.
Yeah!
No one's allowed up here. She asked you to... an outlander? Isn't it enough she stuck me up here to guard the flame indefinitely, but now she's looking for help outside the house guard? What else can I expect after what happened the other night? Finland sent a barrel of his finest ale for Watch Captain Bethes's birthday. Powerful stuff. One cup and we could barely keep our eyes open. The entire regiment was knocked on its collective arse. When I came to my senses, I saw that the fire had gone out. Look, once I heard the crash along the shore, it was all I could do to get moving and raise the alarm. Cherish's water loves to loiter near the lighthouse. Maybe she noticed something. If you're intent on doing your job, you should talk to her.
Do you mind? Your dirty foot coverings are contaminating my pond. So direct you are. Makes my tongue wither and the answers dry up in my mouth. Go and bother someone else with your parching questions. Now you insult me? I'll have you know I can take care of myself. Since you mentioned it, I've noticed that my favorite pond has become somewhat stagnant. I bet if we had some Finden's special blend, my throat would moisten right back up. Finden collects it from a secret location where the sea meets the swamp in perfect harmony. Contains just enough salt to nourish my scales without drying them. You can buy it from him or fill a bucket yourself. Then we can talk.
What do you want?
I only recently arrived and I'm still getting used to this strange land. Did you know they mine insect eggs for food here? Or what about those murderers that get to kill people just so long as they have an official piece of paper? It's crazy. Is that the Cherish's room?
Would you be so kind? Would you be so kind? Ah, that feels much better. Now that's the proper way to ask a question. As a matter of fact, I did notice someone near the lighthouse that night. You keep asking the wrong question. I did not see anyone that night. I felt them. They made ripples in the water. I felt them stop by the tree that overlooks my pond. Then they moved off towards the lighthouse. Look to the tree, moist one. I prefer my waters to remain still, calm. Prying causes ripples, and ripples lead to more dry questions. Would you be so kind as to move along? You're disrupting the current. Talk of gods makes my scales itch. If the living gods really cared, they wouldn't make me suffer. Now take your religious foolishness and peddle it someplace else.
I hear that the House Guard broke up a band of slavers operating on one of the nearby islands. I'm glad for that. Oh, that's from the Dark Elf scriptures, isn't it? Enigmatic and beautiful. I've been trying to catch up on my reading, but I've been so busy.
Welcome to our shop. Feel free to look around. Keep it down. We don't want to attract undue attention. But what happened? I thought I was supposed to go to the drop. You didn't come all this way just to give me my reward, did you? Already? Let me see. Oh, it's beautiful. I love working for the Tribunal. It's so much better than trying to earn a living as a thief in Vivec City. But where's your helmet? I've never seen an Ordinator out of uniform before. Oh, right. We're not supposed to talk about Ordinators in the Tribunal in such a public place. But it feels good to be doing holy work for a change. And such a simple task, snuffing out the lighthouse flame. I mean, Umsithi is the ending of words. Welcome to our shop. Oh, that was easy. I put a sleeping draught in the ale they ordered for Watch Captain Bethes's birthday. The guards were unconscious within the hour. I hope I can be of service again. For the tribunal.
Unfortunately, the wreck of the vessel provided no additional clues. Were you able to discover anything during your investigation? The young woman who works with the grocer. I doubt the tribunal would ask her to do something so reckless. Do you have any proof other than her word? This is disturbing. This parchment feels just like the sheets that Governor O'Million's special orders from High Rock. I'm going to need you to acquire another sample from the governor's office. It's the only way to be certain. Not if I don't want him to know I suspect that he's working with the slavers, or the tribunal, though I still consider that to be some sort of fabrication. No, if I alert him too soon, he'll just cover his tracks. Not the office. He keeps it in his private quarters, accessed through the guardhouse. But I'd never suggest that you sneak into his quarters and steal a blank sheet of his special parchment. That would be against the law. Do you understand me? back again. So tell me, you didn't do anything unlawful now, did you? That's odd. We haven't done a search of Firemoth Island since Governor O'Melian declared that the House Guard was better used patrolling farther up the coast. And these parchment sheets definitely match. This is very disturbing. What I think doesn't matter. We need evidence. But we also need to launch a rescue. Slavery is illegal in Pact territory. It's time to visit Firemoth Island. Hopefully, somewhere along the way, we'll find more proof of Governor O'Melian's ties to all of this. Attack before the soldiers have been assembled? That's not a prudent course of action. We need to muster our forces, make plans and contingencies, unlock the armory. What was that? That's a distress signal, and it came from Firemoth Island. No time to prepare. We have to rescue the slavers' prisoners. Soldiers, to the ships! We sail for Firemoth Island!
Well?
Free at last. My thanks.
At last, I'm free.
I can't believe it. Free.
My associate will be here soon. Patience, Governor. I informed the governor that the captives we rescued from Firemoth Island are safe and sound. Do you have anything you'd like to add? This note clearly implicates the governor. Along with the other evidence you uncovered, it's obvious that he was working with the slavers. Well done. Satanine owes you for this great service, but I'll take it from here.
Well, I suppose we're done here. I have a silt strider waiting.
No. Governor O'Melian, I am placing you under arrest for promoting slavery in Pact territory.
How dare you accuse me of such a thing? You have no proof.
A note on your parchment, which led to the sabotage of the lighthouse and a shipwreck off our coast. A letter naming you as the slaver captain's partner. Do you deny your involvement?
That proves nothing. I'll have you hanged for this.
Sergeant Delms, he's dead! Murderer! Sergeant Delms knew that you had a report claiming Firemoth Island was free of slavers, and we both know that was a lie.
The sergeant's dead. Who would do such a thing?
Secure him!
Yes, Governor Salvi.
I hope to bring honor back to the station of...
I think you've seen all that's safe.
Forgive me, Outlander, but I have enough to deal with. I'm just a simple tribunal priest, and the trouble at the ancestral tomb was too much for even our buoyant armiger to deal with. I have failed Lord Vivec, and left a colleague alone at the tomb. Lord Vivec sent the three of us to seek guidance at the Andrano ancestral tomb. We were attacked when we got there, and our guard was seriously hurt. I barely got her to safety, but we failed to complete the mission Lord Vivec bestowed upon us. Canon Levoul. He remained behind after we retreated from the tomb. I know he wants to get back inside and ask Lord Vivec's questions, but there's no way he can get past the Daedra, or ask the questions on his own. May the three grant him wisdom.
What's wrong? Someone help!
Why, the three! First a wounded armiger, now this!
By dawn and dusk, evil creeps through the shadows of my beloved Vardenfell. But an outlander arrives to aid my people, just as I have foreseen.
Those words, what do they mean?
What happened?
Merciful Azura, the Mother Soul spoke through you. It's a miracle!
Lord Vivec, protect me! That was Azura, the Queen of the Night Sky. And you, she spoke directly to you, Outlander. I'm surprised the Daedric Prince would risk Lord Vivec's wrath to proclaim a prophecy. But she did say you were here to aid us. The Daedric Prince Azura possessed that woman and spoke through her. I've heard of such occurrences, of course, but to witness such an event... She said evil creeps through the land. I wonder if it has anything to do with what we saw at the tomb. You don't know Lord Vivec, one of the living gods of the Dunmer Tribunal. You must be new to our land, Outlander. But there's no time. Canon Levoul remain behind. He needs help if he's going to get inside the tomb and ask Vivec's questions. Yes, one of the god monarchs of Morrowind. He's the warrior poet who lives in a grand palace in Vivec City. Lord Vivec sent us on this holy mission to request information from Canon Levoul's ancestor. It breaks my heart that I have failed him. Azura is the cruel but wise Daedric Prince of Dawn and Dusk. She's one of the good Daedra, for what that's worth. But for her to speak through an innocent means something terrible is about to happen. Why else would she dare Lord Vivec's wrath? What do they teach you where you come from? Lord Vivec's a living god! Azura is merely the anticipation of Sothasil. Vivec stands as the present and the future, while Azura clearly represents Vardenfell's past. So no, they don't get along. We sought guidance in a matter that concerns Lord Vivec. I received specific questions to ask while Levoul concentrated on summoning his ancestor. The Daedra ruined those plans when they fell upon Urnsey, and we were forced to flee. Vile creatures from oblivion. You hear about an odd ghost or a nest of vampires, but never Daedra. Please, if they're still there, they'll rip Canon Levoul apart. He's definitely not a warrior. Just look at what they did to the Buoyant Armiger. The Buoyant Armigers comprise one of the military orders of the Tribunal Temple. They seek to emulate Lord Vivec's deeds through actions and words. Poor Urnsey. Those monsters went straight for her. Her blood flowed like lava from Red Mountain. Where are you from? Children learn of Red Mountain before they even taste Flynn. The mountain sits at the center of Vardenfell, periodically rumbling like a sleeping Nyx shaking its leg. Lately, however, it seems to be waking from its long slumber.
Yeah! Yeah!
Those monsters, it's too dangerous. What am I going to do? Did Canon Valasar send you? Oh, she did, didn't she? That means she made it to Seyda-Neen. Vivec be praised. Will you help me complete my mission? It would be sacrilege if I don't enter my family's tomb and make Lord Vivec's inquiries. As the saints declare, the Tribunal always provides. We'll need to be cautious, however. Daedra invaded the tomb. Makes it hard to talk to one's ancestors while monsters try to eat you. I'll also need your help when we reach the summoning chamber. Take this scroll with Lord Vivec's inquiries, while I summon forth my ancestor spirit and concentrate on maintaining the connection. You must ask the questions. He insists we use the exact phrasing. We can go inside when you're ready. I've already lost precious time due to the Buoyant Armiger's wounds, but I suppose a few more moments won't make the volcano erupt or the moonlit fall from the sky or anything. What else can I tell you, my friend? I'm not quite sure, and it wasn't my place to ask. When your living god gives you a task, you say, "Yes, my lord." The questions seem to involve the time before the tribunal, which I assume is why we must ask them of my long-dead ancestor. A few of my contemporaries can boast of a luminary such as Farina Andrino occupying a prime branch upon their family tree. Lady Farina studied at the feet of Sothasil and was counted among his companions before the tribunal rose to power. Who's Sothasil? It's like asking who are Vivec and Almalexia. They are the tribunal, the living gods of the Dunmer. Sothasil is the architect of time and the binder of oblivion. If you want to know more, we can talk after we've finished. Well, I can tell you why they weren't here the last time I paid my respects. Canon Valasar thinks they're some kind of Daedra, determined to keep us from fulfilling Lord Vivec's will. Until you showed up, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Before we go in there and face those monsters, I want you to know how much I appreciate your aid in this matter. Just don't lose the scroll that contains Lord Vivek's questions. Now come, let's call forth my ancestor. I'll open the tomb door. Follow me, but keep an eye out for those Daedra. Careful! The creatures attacked as soon as we entered the Hall of Remembrance. This used to be such a peaceful place. I came here as a young acolyte to meditate. We're nearly there. Then we can summon my ancestor. The summoning chamber. I'll call forth my ancestor, then you can ask Vivek's questions.
Hasn't my rest been disturbed enough by those filthy Daedra? Why do you summon me, descendant?
My Lord Vivek has inquiries that only you can answer, my lady. My companion will present them, with your permission.
The warrior poet? Very well. Ask Vivek's questions. Ask the warrior poet's questions, Outlander. Ah, Lord Vivek always had a way with words. Tell him to rest assured. The heart remains safe. I wonder why that concerns him. Ask the remaining questions, as my time here is short. An enemy of old, yes, but not the one that Vivek presumes. Sotha Sil imagined multiple scenarios and contemplated endless solutions. He even experimented with his divinity, drawing energy to study before returning it. Loss will come, he foresaw, but not until the collapse of the temple.
I hope that's what Lord Vivek needed. Let's talk outside. Thank you for helping me complete my task. Now, I need to return to Vivek City. Have you been there? It's amazing. Ziggurats rising out of the water, the moonlit hanging in the sky above. You should meet me there so I can introduce you to Lord Vivek. Just between us, I understood neither the questions asked nor the answers received. Not that I expected you. Some things aren't meant for mortal minds. That's another reason for you to come to Vivek City, to help me explain what my ancestors said. Excellent. I just need to make a quick stop in Seydanin to check on my original traveling companions. When you get to Vivek City, head right to the palace and I'll meet you there. I know that Lord Vivek will want to reward you for assisting me. I'll be along shortly. When you get to Vivek City, head directly for Lord Vivek's palace. Once there, I'll make introductions and we can tell the warrior poet everything we've learned. Of course. As I said, the tribunal consists of our 3 living gods, Vivek, Almalexia, and Sotha Sil. They lead us in spiritual matters and rule over Dunmer society as god monarchs of the Dark Elves. I serve Vivek, but honor the entire tribunal. Unfortunately, no. The Dunmer houses bow to the tribunal, but the savage Ashlanders refuse to acknowledge their divinity. The heretics never allowed themselves to be assimilated into the great houses. Instead, they hold to primitive superstitions.
Oh, look what crawled up from the dung heap. You're
Calm
hardly
down.
worth the effort.
Most merchants are... I can buy your...
If you're here about the property, you'll need to return later. I'm dealing with some unforeseen complications. Until recently, Bulag Idolus was my tenant. When I learned she used my property to run a skooma operation, she broke into my office and absconded with the deed. Without it, the guard does nothing. They don't believe I own the place. It's a total loss. Yes, you can. I can't have the place tarnishing my good name. If you recover the deed and key, I'll sign it over to you. Bulag Idolus had a falling out with her old partner. Zugagrath, I think. Try finding him wherever scum accumulates in town.
Know you, and I don't want to know you. Yeah, so what? I might, for the right price, but my loyalty is expensive. Huh, so you do know how this works. I searched her place the night she left town, but the only thing worth taking was some old papers. You paid well enough, so I'll let you look through them. Check my bag.
Welcome to the Guild Hall, Knowledge Seeker. What brings you here today?
We're book hunters of a sort. We seek out new information, capture it in our libraries, and make copies for distribution across Tamriel. The Guild doesn't care about battlefields or boundaries, just knowledge and the acquisition of new tomes. We are neutral in the war between the three alliances. When we're on guild business, we kneel to no king or queen. That's why you'll see members of every race in our halls. Vanus Galerian, one of the founding members of this august body, still holds the proud title of Guildmaster, overseeing every guild hall in Tamriel. He works with other ranking members, such as Tellinger, the Artificer, to ensure our future success. We provide training in unique spells and abilities only available to members. And from time to time, projects crop up for those with an adventuresome spirit. You may end up working with the Guildmaster himself. Excellent. You are now a student of the Mages Guild. Every book you find will now earn you reputation in the guild.
Welcome to the hall. What can I do for you? Stars above, yes. Welcome to the Fighters Guild. You should consider joining up. We have a new guildmaster and a new singular purpose. You look like just the kind of candidate we want for new comrades in arms.
Right. Our new guildmaster is an Argonian, sees all colors. She has us all hunting down the Daedra and their damned anchors. You might have seen them. Enormous chains. Plagues of Daedra boil out to lay waste to the countryside. Hard fights.
No. We only draw blades in service to the guild. We're technically neutral in the war between the three alliances. We love the Eagle Banner and Her Majesty, of course. But every race, every creed belongs under the guild hall's roof. Ha! There's a good question. We train our members in special techniques, and the higher-ups are always looking for motivated members to help with special projects. You never know, you might be the next Yofnir. Guildmaster Yofnir passed away recently, very suddenly. I always thought he'd die with a blade in his hand. But he passed away in his sleep, called to Sovngarde by his ancestors. We all miss him, but Colors has proven to be a very able leader. Then let me be the first to officially welcome you as an associate of the Fighters Guild. Get out there and take the fight to the Daedra.
Honor and service.
Enter the library of Well, have you come to see our wonder in miniature? Our magnificent tribute to Morrowind? Alas, the work is not yet complete, and, truth be told, there is more to our miniature VVardenfell than simply a representation of our land at a reduced scale. Indeed, and once complete, it will point us to the location of the lost library of Andul, the secret repository of the knowledge of the great houses. I just need someone to help me handle the legwork, as it were. Well, that's the rub. Literally. The ancient families of Vardenfell hid the location of the library and then placed clues to find it at their ancestral tombs. I need someone to take rubbings of these clues. Will you help me solve this mystery? Excellent. Let's start with a simple one. Head north of VVec and travel to the Orthrellas ancestral tomb. Look for a stone plaque near the tomb and take a rubbing of the words inscribed upon it. Return to me with the rubbing and, well, you'll see. Every important family owns at least one tomb. Of course, I'm most interested in those that predate the rise of the great houses. Specifically, we're hoping to recover records presumed lost during the War of the First Council. Genealogical records related to the earliest Velothi settlers. It could improve our understanding of the origins of the great houses 100-fold. And who knows what other lost knowledge waits within the library. It really is quite exciting.
Praise VVec!
This is the person who helped me at the tomb, my lord.
Lord VVec, we don't need the help of this outlander.
Oh hush, Archcanon Tarvis. Outlanders have their usefulness, and this one intrigues me.
As you say. I'll be in my office if you need me.
Step forward, friend of Levoul, and let us speak. Canon Levoul says you helped him in his mission. As I have written, the one who helps my ally becomes my friend. Despite the Archcanon's concerns, I greet you with sincerity and pose a simple question. Will you assist us further, Outlander? I have ordinators and armigers at my disposal. Vast armies of followers and dedicated priests. What I don't have, however, is a fresh perspective. Will you set aside your personal goals for a time and become the eyes and ears of a god? Good. I need assistance to investigate a strange phenomenon that the Ancestor confirmed may indeed be a problem. We'll start with a simple divination ritual. Archcanon Tarvis can tell you what we need to delve into this mystery. The situation that troubles me has taken a toll on my Archcanon, but he's a faithful servant. Tarvis will do as I say, and I say we need your assistance. Find the Archcanon in his office, and he'll tell you how to proceed. The Daedric Prince. I suppose the same events that concern me might interest Azura, though she could just as easily be the source of these troubles. Red Mountain, strange Daedra, and then there's... well, we'll talk more about that when you return. Levoul's ancestor assured me that a source of power remains safe. As for the rest, let the guess ripen in the mind, and only speak when the fruit grows certain. I require more information on these matters, hence the need for the divination ritual.
Ah, Outlander. Lord Vivec trusts too much to put his faith in one such as you, but who am I to question my god? I suppose he sent you to me so I could put you to work? Did he say which task he wants us to accomplish first? Ah, yes. We do need to perform a ritual to reveal the nature of the phenomenon that vexes Lord Vivec. Now listen closely. I hate to repeat myself. Despite my objections, Vivec believes you were sent to help, so I'll do my best to assist you. Go to the ziggurat that's still under construction and tell the Overseer that Lord Vivec requires the Blessing Stone. Then bring it to me in the palace. You receive a simple errand in the service of Lord Vivec, and countless questions form unbidden in your mind. Very well. Go ahead. Ask your questions. It's not like I'm the busy archcanon of a living god or anything. Ah, the ignorance of Outlanders. How refreshing. The Blessing Stones serve as repositories for small amounts of Lord Vivec's power. They allow his favor to permeate sanctified locations. We need such a stone to power the divination ritual. If you haven't guessed yet, the phenomenon interferes with Lord Vivec's power in unusual ways. It will be safer for everyone if I perform the ritual by using the Blessing Stone instead of drawing on my Lord's personal store of energy. Even if I told you, you wouldn't comprehend it. Lord Vivec's senses eclipse those of mere mortals. Suffice it to say, he feels a disturbance in the flow of energy throughout Vardenfell. He seeks to discover the source of that disturbance. Lord Vivec sees signs and portents everywhere. It's the poet at his core. I tend to be much more pragmatic. Sometimes a volcano is simply a volcano, and not a harbinger of doom. As for the Daedra, I have no idea. Perhaps the summoning got out of hand. Offend me? You give yourself too much credit. No, I feel the same about all Outlanders. This is tribunal business, best handled by tribunal resources. However, I also obey my Lord Vivec, so I will tolerate your involvement and do my best to aid you.
This project has been nothing but one disaster after another. How am I expected to get this ziggurat built on time when things constantly go wrong? Don't mind me. I'm just having one of those days. Our Blessing Stone? Do you know what happens if we give up our Blessing Stone? Well, neither do I, but I'm sure it won't put us back on schedule or end our string of disasters. I'm not one to disagree with the Archcanon, but that's a terrible idea. Lord Vivec? Why didn't you say so? But I'll need your help before I can turn over the Blessing Stone. The passage that leads to the consecration chamber collapsed, trapping some of my workers. If you can clear the way, you can borrow the stone. I appreciate the help. Just remember that you're only borrowing the stone. It needs to be back in the consecration chamber before the next shift, or we'll never get this ziggurat constructed in time.
Thank you. I'll go tell the ogres. Help! Please, someone help me!
I thought I was going to die under the... Oh, thanks for saving me.
I need a break.
Praise Vivek!
The Outlander returns. I understand there was trouble at the construction site, but you were able to save a few of the workers. Lord Vivek always draws the straightest arrow from the quiver. Praise the tribunal. Did you bring the blessing stone? Hear the words of the warrior poet, and reveal the source of Lord Vivek's distress. A clockwork mage. A Daedric cultist. Something interfered with the ritual, my lord. But we may have learned something. Excuse me while I compare the results to our previous research.
Between the cryptic warnings of the ancestor spirit and the unexpected result of the divination ritual, I fear there may be more astir than I imagined. We solved the greatest mysteries by accident, I suspect. I should write that down. We learn from every action we take. Failure or success, each result teaches us something, at least in the larger sense. To be more specific, no, not as much as I hoped. Images that suggest avenues to investigate, riddles to solve. Let me tell you a secret, Outlander. It concerns a living god and energy that fades like daylight as dusk spreads across the land. Listen well, and speak not a word. My divine energy, it drains away. Whether from illness or foul malady, I know not. You must travel the land and seek answers on my behalf. But first, gratitude before service, as I have written. So thank you. The ritual confirmed my worst fears. Divine energy flows out of me for no reason that I can discern. I felt the power imbued within my blessing stone get wrenched away as soon as you added it to the ritual. I couldn't stop it. To quote my own words as the warrior poet, no lock exists that the determined thief cannot open. Follow the trail of my missing energy, and try to discover the identity of the enemy Levul's ancestor warned us about. Something drains my energy. Find Archcanon Tarvis in his office, and ask if he gleaned anything useful from the ritual. If not, I know his earlier research indicated new avenues to investigate. Go where he tells you, and learn what you can. My divine energy diminishes with every passing moment, but the ritual confirmed my affliction is not natural. I regret that I could not reveal the full nature of these dire circumstances until your trustworthiness had been demonstrated. Yes, While Archcanon Tarvis has always been cautious about ideas and ideologies that didn't originate within the Tribunal. And recently, that prudence has grown 1,000-fold. He's a faithful servant, however, despite his narrow-mindedness. I've always used my power freely, and without detriment. I create the blessing stones, hold the moonlit above the city, and perform 100 miracles a day to benefit my people. I begin to feel the toll this liberal application of divinity costs me. I care little for my own safety, but my people are another matter. Without my power to stop it, the moonlit will crash into the city and kill hundreds, perhaps thousands of innocents. And that would be just the start of Vardenfell's woes. At first, I barely noticed the loss of energy. But as I continue to grow weaker, the more it feels like an attack against my person. Besides, the Ancestor Spirit confirmed that an ancient enemy was to blame. We just need to determine who before... Let us not dwell on disasters to come when we have problems enough to deal with in the here and now. Consult with Archcanon Tarvis and discover the source of this attack. Then we can put an end to it and not worry about what might have been. They always chide me about my flagrant displays of divinity, but so far, I am the only one of the living gods whose power is fading. Almalexia hoards her energy and has barricaded her temple against attack. As for Sotha Seal, my brother travels. We have not heard from him for quite some time, but I sense that he remains safe and in possession of his full power. Funny. We always wanted to discover the limits of our divinity. Perhaps I will solve that mystery for him.
I performed that ritual countless times, and it never exploded in my face before. If I discover that you sabotaged the divination... No. I shouldn't take my failure out on you. It's not your fault that things are difficult. How do you know about... Lord Vivec told you? Of course he did. It's his prerogative, I suppose. You must swear to keep this secret, though. There would be panic in the streets if the people believed one of the Tribunal was incapacitated. It's true. I'm much better at scholarly pursuits than field work, and the ritual wasn't a total failure. It confirmed 3 locations from my earlier studies: Bolmora, Aldrin, and Berelzar's Tower. I need you to investigate each of these sites. I researched what I could using the resources available here in Vivec City. To learn more, I need an agent to personally assess each location. Lord Vivec thinks you're the best one for that job. I hope he's right. I believe the mage seen in the ritual is Berelzar, who works out of an ancient Velothi tower. His experiments radiate energy similar to Vivec's affliction, but they're not a perfect match. Find out what he knows about the transfer of divine energy. House Redoran controls the town and nearby mines. House Halalu also has interests in the region. Rumors of a cult in the area concern me the most. I believe we saw a cultist during the ritual. Make discreet inquiries and see what you can learn. I have no idea. That's why we're sending you. I suggest you start at the inn. Secrets get spilled along with the drinks in such places. The miners may know something as well. I've heard that House Redoran has issued some kind of proclamation. Savage Ashlanders, like the one seen in the vision, use the area as a tribal meeting ground. These nomadic heretics deny the divinity of the tribunal and have no love for Vivec. But how they could be involved eludes me. See what you can uncover. I traced tendrils of Vivec's energy to these locations, and the ritual confirmed the connection before it went awry. Just don't discuss Lord Vivec's condition with anyone. We don't want to start a panic. If anything changes here, I'll contact you.
Another adventurer looking for work? Did you? Well, that's why it was posted. It's simple. Citizens tell us what they need, and we arrange for the job to be completed. You will be able to meet with the client before starting the task. They'll also have your reward, not us. Belleru Omeril and her brother Traylan will handle your assignments. Check in with them frequently to see if they have a job for you. They'll inform you what you need to accomplish and who made the request. Belleru's requests may appear straightforward, but many adventurers find them difficult to accomplish. The assortment of enemies she'll ask you to face are all powerful, and I would recommend gathering allies before heading out. Traylan handles requests which the temple has special interests in. His tasks require more subtlety, but they are by no means easy. Make sure to listen to his explanations carefully. It's also a good idea to speak to the clients beforehand. I would hope. You came to us, after all. Traylan and Belleru are just down the hall. They should already have assignments for you. Speak to either of them to get started.
This is bad. You look well-traveled, friend. Are you, by chance, going to Sadrith Mora? I can make it worth your while. Opportunity. Or that's what I thought, until I angered de VVardenfell by failing to deliver the special mushrooms he ordered on time. Lost the shipment. Now I'm in a bind. I have the mushrooms, but I'm afraid fear will evaporate me for late delivery. You aren't at fault for the late delivery, so fear shouldn't do anything to you. Won't do anything to you, I mean. I guarantee it. Besides, I'll let you keep the payment he owes me as well. I'd rather avoid the situation altogether at this point. You're saving my life here, friend. I don't dare refuse the order, but I also don't want to meet a displeased Telvanni. For someone who's helping me out this much, you can ask as many as you like. No clue. If a Telvanni mage wants them, I can only suppose they have magical properties. You won't see me putting them in any of my stews, that's for damn sure. The Telvanni aren't like you and I, friend. They're powerful and quick to anger and have no qualms about harming those who displease them. Sadrith Mora is up on the eastern coast, so you could walk, but I wouldn't recommend it. Talk to Cinda, our local navigator. She can sail you up there on her next trip. That's how I was going to get there until I missed my delivery time.
I don't like the way the mountain rumbles these days. Makes me glad we're about to set sail and leave all this disaster behind us. We're headed to Sadrith Mora, if that's where you'd like to go. Just decide quick. I want to sail on the next tide.
What do you want? One more late shipment, Bolin, and you will never work in Vardenfell again.
I'm terribly sorry, Master. It won't happen again.
Ah, another useful idiot approaches. And what trifling matter brings you to me? I trust you're not here to waste my time. That would end badly for you. So Edrino finally came through, did she? And she sent you in her place, no doubt because she believes I will turn her into a Vardvark. Of such nonsense. The things these commoners believe. I shall, of course, dock her payment for the late delivery. If you're lying, you do so remarkably well. If you're not, it is of no concern to me. You will receive the same coinage either way. Take it and be about your business. And tell Edrino that if she fails again, I shall locate another mushroom seller. And that concludes my deliveries for today. What an exciting life I lead.
Well?
Mind your step. I would not want you to step on this random patch of grass. I jest, of course. The Telvanni force me to work, but I make sure it brings them no pleasure. I see you wear no shackles. Do you seek work? I know someone who needs help. In truth, you would be helping many Saxhleel, myself included. During my latest escape attempt, I met an amber beauty with eyes like summer rain. Her Lukial name is Sun in Shadow, but I call her my heart. She hatches a plan to set us free. Seek her out in Tel Naga. If I know my heart, she will be sunning herself in the light of some book. Always reading that one, always learning. If all goes to plan, she will read her books beside me in the boughs of a hist. Soon, I hope. Walk with Sithis, my friend, and mind the Telvanni. They spin lies like an elder at the yarn wheel. I ventured too far from the hist and did not heed the bird signs. Dark elf slavers spine-hooked me near Thorn. I escaped 4 times, but never for long. Eventually the Telvanni bought me, at a discount I am told. I take pride in that at least. Laws are slippery things. The Ebonheart Pact outlawed Argonian slavery, but House Telvanni refused to join the pact. In truth, I cannot imagine how they would live without slaves. The Magisters are like overstuffed crocodiles, dangerous, but lazy. I thank you for your offer, but I tire of breaking free only to be recaptured a day later. Sun in Shadow's plan will earn us a lasting freedom. If you help her, you help me. Mages mostly. Members of the so-called Great House Telvanni. One of the 4 great houses of the Dark Elves. They love using that word, great. Great at ruining lives, perhaps. Yes, and Khajiit also. You see, for a Telvanni, life is nothing but a cheap struggle for mastery and control. Mastery of their dry-skinned magics, control of their mushroom towers, and dominion over people. People like us.
Oh, did you? Ah, love.
How cruel the fates that keep me from my heart's desire and force me to lock away my true feelings. Chains bind my heart, yet it yearns to beat free. Oh, what does an outlander know about the complexities of Dunmerry love? But you're only trying to help, and maybe I do need a simpler perspective. How does an outlander convince an overbearing mother that the object of their affection is worthy? Of course not. Tywin is a slave. My mother's slave. I tried to buy her freedom, but Mother laughed at the mere suggestion that I'd be allowed to sully our reputation with a noir bride. Perhaps an outlander's offer wouldn't rouse her suspicion. I don't expect you to pay, obviously. It's just that Mother might reveal what it would take for her to release Tywin if it was anyone but me asking. Knowing that might give me some idea of how to free my love. It couldn't hurt to ask, could it? Tell her you've heard Tywin excels at finding Red Star shells. Telvanni wizards prize them, and they're very rare. Most of the locals know that Tywin is the best at finding them. Mother loves to gloat. I couldn't bear gazing upon Tywin since Mother rebuked me. But now, I can't wait to see her lovely face again. I'll be down at the swamp where she hunts shells. Come find me once you've finished dealing with Mother. She'll be at our tower.
Sadrith Mora, so I...
Lazy vermin. If you want to eat this week, work.
Yes, mistress.
What are you up to,
Well, get to it. Now!
Yes, mistress. Sorry, mistress.
Pardon the mess. My slaves require another lesson concerning their work ethic. And they're no good overseer as well. I suppose I'll have to wield the lash myself today. Have my friends been gossiping about her again? You'd think there were no better topics of conversation. Yes, Tywin is my slave. She's no unshed nixhound, but she's still a capable harvester. What do you want to know about her? Well, I need someone who can do that too, and I already have Tywin. Seems like you're out of luck. Baseless slander! Though I do tire of these ugly rumors surrounding my son. 3 red star shells. That's the smallest offer I'll entertain. A bargain.
Oh, Tywin, where are you? What I'd give for just a glimpse. Well, did you speak to my mother? What did she say? Knowing her, it's something incredibly unreasonable. 3? 3? That's as many as Tywin manages to find in a month. And she's perfect. No. If Mother found out, she'd never let Tywin go free. Not for any price. It's an unreasonable sum. But the fact that she asked for Red Star shells might work in our favor. I've been training a Nixhound to help Tywin so she can spend more time with me instead of in that vile swamp. Aside from the Fetch a Fly incident, Nixie's got a solid track record. I'm certain she won't let us down. She's around here somewhere. Nixhounds vanish when they're afraid, and Nixie's a bit skittish. She'll head off toward the water after I call her. Look around the shorelines, and you'll probably find her digging up shells. Just go as she points. Come on, Nixie, show yourself! There you are. Nixie, go find star shells. Show this nice person where they are.
Hey, what are you doing? Stop! Who are you? These are given lands, you know. Take any star shells from this beach and you'll have them to reckon with. He sent you here. To what, spy on me? To find I can't even find privacy out in this forsaken muck. Because this is the one place I'm permitted to go that he's too afraid to follow. Out here, I don't have to endure his constant fawning or pretend not to see him watching me out of the corner of my eye. Love! I'm a slave and he's my master, or as close as makes no difference. Wouldn't so much as smile in his direction if it didn't spare me the rod. Tell me why he has you gathering red star shells. What's he up to now? Gods, no. Fear of his mother's wrath is the only reason I can keep him at arm's length. If he's getting this bold, I have to get out of here. What Lonus wants for me isn't freedom. You really want to free me. Help me get away from these people. Faris keeps my servitude obligation hidden in a house. Steal it for me. I can forge a signature. It won't be perfect, but it should hold up well enough to get me out of Telvanni lands. I don't want to be bought. I want to be free. After all Faris and Lonus have taken from me, I don't want them to profit from my release. At least let me cost them.
What a terror, what savage speech.
The guard's on their way. Best get out before they clear you out. Wherever you came from, I suggest you go back.
See you're leaving the estate. You decided not to help me, didn't you? I knew I shouldn't have gotten my hopes up. You really did it. You... What's the catch? What do you expect for this? I don't know what to say. I was resigned to my fate before you showed up. Hardly seems real. Maybe it isn't. Not until I'm staring at the shores of the Somerset Isles. I'll need it. You didn't ask for anything, but I want you to have this. Just the gold I managed to hide away over the years, minus what I'll need for passage. Not payment, a gift. For a friend. Goodbye, and thank you so much.
Hey, away from her! You will ruin everything!
Shut up, you slavering jackal. You see this? I'm free.
Tywin, I was supposed to free you. I was going to take your hand in marriage. It was going to be perfect. You ruined it!
Listen to me, you little swit. I'm not your plaything, never was and never will be. I'd sooner lie with the maggots than share your bed.
That can be arranged. When I tell Mother about this, you'll wish you'd never spurned me. You'll beg. You will beg.
That was liberating. Don't worry, I know these lands better than they ever will. Thanks again.
This must be some dark... Please, just obey the law from now on.
Yes, can I help you, Suryo? Bless his eyes. Yes, I'm Sun in Shadow. Ioki told you I have a plan to earn our freedom, right? It will require finesse and discretion. I trust that I can count on you for both. To earn my freedom, I need the help of Magister Thurama. Oh, yes. House Telvanni has its warts, but it's a true meritocracy. With enough guile and cunning, even a lowly slave can sit on the council. I've studied spellcraft since before I could lift a broom. All I need now is the sponsorship of a magister. Thurana's been haranguing the council, trying to get their help in claiming Zane Tiraras from House Redrin. She wants something in that shrine. I aim to get it for her. Her mouth, Erevan Anthem, has a letter that contains the clues we need. Be cautious in the council house, Sarah. House Telvanni is not just some beast you can slay. In this place, subtlety will serve you better than any shield. We have to play the game. Truthfully, it doesn't. Not yet. Telvanni plots take time to develop. If I demand Ioki's freedom too early, I show my hand. Suddenly, he's a valuable piece in the game, moved and sacrificed as the Magisters see fit. Do I sense a rebuke? It's not ideal, I know. Look, I treasure Ioki. He's placed his trust in me. I hope you'll do the same. It was during one of his many escape attempts. I was cleaning Master Otheri's tableware when Ioki burst through the kitchen door, dragging his chains behind him. He threw open the window and started to climb through it. Then he saw me. He hesitated, even smiled. You don't see Mars slaves smile much. Certainly not when they're being chased by Nyx hounds. They dragged him off and threw him in the dry box. He told me he'd spend a year in there if it meant seeing me again. There's an old alchemist proverb. No reaction is ever so forceful as the mixing of opposing components. A mouthful, I know, but it fits. Ioki and I occupy different poles on the same spear. He keeps me grounded. I keep him safe.
And who might you be? Master Erevan is away on business. Has been for some time, in fact. I know a prowler when I see one. What do you want? No one just wanders into a council mouth's office looking around. I should report you. What are you really after? And do be honest, we've already wasted enough time here. Ah, the one about Zane Tiraris, is it? Well, I could call the guard and be about my day, but I am a Telvanni after all. We don't turn away an opportunity when it presents itself. Perhaps you could help me with a problem I've run into. It's a matter of literature, or lack thereof. I wrote a poem, you see, a cloying, drunken mess of a poem. The post delivered it to my darling Aethra Dora just this morning. If you get it away from her, the letter is yours. She spends most of her time in the study, here in the council hall. She's very diligent, always leaning over one book or another. And the way she licks her thumb when she turns the pages. Sorry, you'll find her in the study, yes. The poem's terrible. Plus, if word got to my parents that I'd been courting a wood elf, I'd be written out of the will, repeatedly, with red ink. Then there's also the possibility of blackmail. Why do you think Ithrandora keeps it on her? She knows that if Master Erevan gets wind of this, he might dismiss me from his service. Clever minx. Working for a council mouth is a fine occupation, Fla. I can't risk losing it. She's such a pretty, dainty thing. Not at all like those other scrawny Acon elves. Add a half bottle of Shane to a lusty heart, and you wind up with some very poor decisions. I hope this is good news. Well, did you get my poem? Quick, give it here! Phew, what a relief. All right, Fla, I'm going to burn this embarrassment. I sure hope I didn't leave Master Erevan's correspondence box unlocked. That would be careless in the extreme. Farewell. Good riddance to bad writing.
There you are. I was afraid you'd been compromised. Were you successful? Did Ontham have anything worth raiding? May I? Ah, a saint's relic. Saint Felms. Never heard of him. Says here the Redarin want it too. To squirrel away in some musty old chapel, no doubt. We need to make sure Thorana gets it before they do. Looks like the shrine is locked, protected by some puzzle ward. Luckily, the letter provides some hints on how to break in. Solve the puzzle, grab the relic, then make haste to tell Barana. Thorana should be there. Offer her the relic on my behalf. Somewhere between certain and apprehensive. The Telvanni respect our clever schemes and love to barter. This little intrigue will prove my worth, I know it. Then again, she could just try to take the relic by force. Run? Telvanni magisters wield magics that put Julianos to shame. Of course, you're quite the hero in your own right. Hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Yes? Can I help you? Looking to get out of Vivec City? Farther away. That's probably a good idea. I can... Remember, my Silt Strider can take you to Bal. Are you waiting, looking to get out of Vivec City? Get on or farther away. Yes, looking to get out of...
There's much preparation. Sorry, I forgot that not everyone knows how to tell a Silt Strider apart.
Hold, citizen. Be wary, traveler. Pilgrims have been attacked on these roads. Should you encounter violence, don't hesitate to call on us. We're here to protect you. I hope your confidence is merited. We have our hands full with the Dreg and the Ashlanders, so rescues are in short supply. Captain Artesia Naros is at the canton of Mola Gmar. She can tell you more than I. Safe travels.
If you're passing through, pay attention. I'll say this once. Pilgrims who ignore my warning vanish from the roads by morning. Whether you're from near or far, best keep your arse at Molag Mar. I find it best to put official notice in verse. Helps people remember, and reminds them buoyant armigers aren't ordinators. Nobody wants to talk to them, even other ordinators. Now, if I could get someone to tell me who's attacking these pilgrims. If you're offering. I suspect Ashlanders are behind the disappearances, but I don't have the numbers to chase them off. If you can sneak into their camp near Molag Mar and find me proof of their involvement, I could finally get some reinforcements. Avoid killing the Ashlanders unless they give you no choice. I don't need you starting a blood feud with my forces split. Now, I must be off to hold the heroic line at a deeply fishy mine. Such is the life of a buoyant armiger. Vivec's finest, fleet and fit, besting heretic by sword, an ordinator by wit. Sworn to live a life of noble grace, except to laugh in danger's face. And sometimes we quammer wrangle groups of pilgrims. Warrior poets are quite versatile. As a rule, they don't like us. So when our people start disappearing, not long after an Ashlander tribe set up camp near Molag Mar, I wager it's more than a coincidence. Just a Dreg infestation. We have them contained. They're an untimely distraction, but nothing we can't handle. Once the Dreg finish mating, we'll clear them out while they're still sluggish. Shouldn't be more than a week.
Halt! If I had a gold piece for every dude. Fine. Now get your stink away from me.
Another new face. If you're... Avoid killing the Ashlanders and...
begat by precursor gods.
What is it?